The strength of any permanent wave is based on the concentration of its reducing agent. In turn, the amount of processing is determined by the strength of the permanent wave solution. The goal in permanent waving is to break approximately 50% of the hair's disulfide bonds, and reshape them into the new curl pattern, and then rebuild 100% of the broken disulfide bonds, once the hair has taken on its new shape. If a mild solution is used on coarse, resistant hair, then there may not be enough hydrogen ions to break the necessary number of disulfide bonds, no matter how long the solution processes. Coarse hair requires a stronger alkalinity, or stronger solution, to break enough disulfide bonds. On the other hand, a strong solution used on fine hair will release too many hydrogen atoms, and break too many of the hair's disulfide bonds, causing extreme damage to the hair. Fine hair requires a milder solution, with a lower alkalinity, to prevent damaging the hair. If you are perming thick hair, you will need to ensure a thorough saturation of the permanent waving solution. Ensure that the solution penetrates all the way through, down to the hair located in the inner circles, nearest to the perm rod. Some clients may require 2 or more bottles of solution, depending upon the length and thickness of the hair. In permanent waving, most of the disulfide bonds are broken as soon as the processing solution penetrates the cortex, usually within the first 5 to 10 minutes. The additional processing time allows the polypeptide chains to shift into their new curl configuration. A properly processed perm should break approximately 50% of disulfide bonds, the shape of the curl should hold well, and the hair should have an even curl throughout the hair strand. The integrity of the hair should not be compromised, there should not be any fish hook ends, and there should be no signs of breakage. Overprocessed hair will have signs to tell you that it was overprocessed. If too many disulfide bonds are broken, the hair may not have enough strength to hold the desired curl. This is generally a sign that too strong of a perm solution was used. Overprocessed does not mean too curly. Overprocessed hair usually has a weak curl, or may even be completely straight. If hair is overprocessed, further processing will only make it straighter. Overprocessed hair will be curly at the scalp, and straight on the ends. This is because the hair at the scalp is newer, stronger hair, and has not been treated as roughly as the hair on the ends, that have been exposed to elements such as wind, blow dryers, curling or flat irons, hair color and other elements. The weaker hair at the ends do not have enough elasticity in the hair to hold a curl. In overprocessed hair, the hair at the scalp processed properly and displays a beautiful curl pattern, but the hair on the ends are generally straighter because the chemical was too strong for them. Underprocessed hair will have signs to tell you that it was underprocessed. If too few disulfide bonds are broken, the hair was too strong for the solution used, and that the solution was too weak for the hair. Underprocessed hair usually has a weak curl, or may even be completely straight. If hair is underprocessed, sometimes further processing can improve the curl. Underprocessed hair will be straight at the scalp, and curly on the ends. This is because the hair at the scalp is newer, stronger hair, and has not been treated as roughly as the hair on the ends that have been exposed to elements such as wind, blow dryers, curling or flat irons, hair color and other elements. The weaker solution is not strong enough to break the disulfide bonds of the stronger hair at the scalp, but is sufficient enough to curl the hair on the ends. Keep these tips in mind when performing permanent waving services. Most processing takes place within the first 5 to 10 minutes. The rest of the time allows for the polypeptide chains to shift into their new shape or configuration. If the hair was overprocessed, it probably happened in the first 5 to 10 minutes, and a weaker solution should have been used. If the hair is not processed after 10 minutes, it may require reapplication of solution. Resistant hair requires a stronger solution, with a higher pH. Thorough saturation is essential to proper processing. Apply the solution slowly and repeatedly, until the hair looks wet. Before performing a permanent waving service, it is always best to perform a preliminary test curl. To perform a preliminary test curl, you will need to perform a complete perm, on one rod, in several areas of the head, prior to rolling the entire head, in order to establish the following information. Test for the correct processing time. What do the curl results from the type of perm solution selected look like? What are the curl results from the rod size selected? How much hair color will be lost or faded? Will the hair hold the shape of the curl? Is the hair's integrity compromised? Did the hair break? Is it dry? Frizzy? Is the client satisfied with the results? If the results from the preliminary test curls are satisfying to both you and the client, then you may proceed with the permanent waving service. Do not reperm the preliminary test curls. After a permanent waving solution has been processed, you will need to thoroughly rinse the perm solution from the hair. Leave the perm rods in the hair. Until the neutralizer has been applied, the hair has no shape of its own at this point, and it is only taking on the shape of the tool in place. If you remove the perm rods, the hair will lose its shape. Rinse the perm solution from the hair for a full 5 minutes, or the amount of time required by the manufacturer, to ensure all remaining solution is removed from the hair. Always smell the hair. This will tell you if most of the chemicals have been rinsed cleanly. Never apply pressure to the rods while rinsing. Always rinse fragile areas such as the temples, the hairline, and the nape first. Always check the nape to ensure that it is thoroughly rinsed. Sit the client upright in the chair, and towel dry each rod, to absorb the excess water from the hair, especially in the nape area. Remember, gravity. Gently blot to towel dry the hair. Never firmly, or aggressively, rub the hair. Remember there are no disulfide bonds, and the hair is extremely fragile at this point. Adjust the rods that have become loose, or have drifted out of alignment prior to applying the neutralizer. Neutralizer will not work if it is diluted. Excess water left in the hair will dilute the neutralizer.